I want to tell you a story today about a young man who grew up without a dad. His name was Jack. Jack grew up next to Mr. Beezer, who lived just over the fence right next door. When Jack's dad died, Mr. Beezer tried to come alongside Jack and be a friend. And he taught him things about carpentry, how to make cuts and how to make wood into useful items. Well, when Jack grew up, he moved away and he worked in a company, a large company of which he had a major role. One day, Jack got a phone call from his mother. His mother said, "Jack, Mr. Beezer died." Jack said, "What? Mr. Beezer died? When?" She said, "Oh, just yesterday. And the funeral will be in 2 days." Jack said, "I'm going to catch a plane and I'm going to come home. In fact, I guess I really didn't know Mr. Beezer was still alive because I'd been gone so long." She said, "No, he was not only alive and he remembered you. Every time I would see him, he would ask about you, ask how you were doing. He seemed to have lots of positive feelings towards you, Jack." And Jack said, "And I had lots of good feelings about him. He was a great person in my life. I'm catching the next plane home." And so Jack did catch the next plane. And the following day or two, they went to the funeral. There weren't many people at the funeral. Mr. Beezer didn't have any children. Most of his relatives had already died. And so there were just a handful of people there at the funeral. After the funeral, Jack and his mother went home. And the next day, his mom said, "Let's go over to the Beezer house and just look around a little bit. See if it changed a lot over the years." Jack said, "Oh, I'd like to do that." So they just walked next door. The house was open. They went in. They looked around. Jack saw the furniture and the paintings. Everything was just as he remembered until he got to Mr. Beezer's desk. He said, "It's gone." His mom said, "What's gone?" He said, "There was a gold box on top of the desk. And I would often ask him what was in that box because I knew it was locked." And Mr. Beezer said, "The thing in that box is the thing I value the most." I would ask him, "Well, what is it that you value the most?" He said, "The thing in that box." He would never quite tell me what it was. And now the box is gone. Oh, I will never learn what it is. So Jack went back to his company, went back to work, and about 2 weeks later, he received a notice at his door when he got home. The notice was from the post office, and it said, "Please come to the post office. A package has come for you that requires a signature. You have 3 days to retrieve the package." The very next day, Jack got up, went down to the post office, and retrieved the package. And here it was wrapped in a brown paper that looked years and years old. Jack tore off the paper, got to the inside container, and there was the box that used to sit on Mr. Beezer's desk. Jack's heart was beating. There was a letter, and he took the letter and he opened it up and he read the letter, and the letter said, let's see if I can find out what it said. It said, oh gosh, lost my place. "Upon my death, please forward this box and its contents to Jack Bennett. It's the thing I value most in my life." A small key was taped to the letter. Jack quickly took the key out, put it in the box, turned the lock, and opened up the box to see what did Mr. Beezer value the most in his life. Inside was a gold watch. It was a very fine gold watch, and it was the kind that a person would keep in their pocket, not wear on their wrist. So Jack looked at it, and then he opened the cover of the watch, opened it up, And on the inside cover was written something. Here was what was written. Jack, thanks for your time. Harold Beezer. Jack began to think about that. The thing he valued most was my time? My time! Wow! What a great guy. He valued most being with me. Jack decided that day that he was going to call his office. So he called his office and he said to Janet, his assistant, he said, Janet, I want you to clear off my calendar for the next 2 days. She said, why? He said, because I've got things to do. I've got people to see that I want to tell them that I value their time with me. And Janet, I don't know if I've said it recently, but I really value your time. I value what you contribute to our company and to my work. She said, thank you. You know, I want to tell you a few things that we've learned about mentoring. We've learned about young men who come and are mentored. One is that there are at least 15 people who highly value you in some way. There is at least one person who thinks about you every night before they go to sleep. You mean the world to someone. You are special and unique. If it weren't for you, someone might not be alive. Even if you make a big mistake, something good can often come of it if you don't give up. Someone that you know really loves you. It's possible that someone really likes you that you don't even know them well. Always tell people how you feel about them. It'll make them feel good, and you'll feel good for having told them. It will also make a chance for a stronger relationship. If you have a great friend, take the time to tell them. Tell them why they're great to you, why they're important to you. Remember to tell people what you like about them. Jack learned an important lesson from Mr. Beezer. We can learn that lesson as we affirm others and tell them that our time with them is valuable and that we appreciate them. Thank you for listening.